Hello everyone, welcome to Mining Now. We are here at CIM Connect 2024. I'm Gus Miner, your host, and we're joined today for a very interesting conversation with Shaun MacIntosh, Territory Sales Manager for Propeller. And on that note, we're about to take off. See what we did there?
Yeah.
How you doing? How you doing, Shaun?
Yeah, excellent, Gus. Yeah, thanks for having me, first off.
Thanks for coming on board. I'm looking forward to diving in and learning more about Propeller as a whole. And maybe on that topic, for the audience that's just watching us now and maybe hearing about Propeller for the very first time, maybe if you can just tell us a little bit about the company, you know, where it's founded and what was the inception of it, and what you guys are up to today. Maybe we could start there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Propeller, we've been in business. Actually, we just had our 10th birthday. So,
hey, congratulations!
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah, thanks. So the company was founded in Sydney, Australia, 10 years ago. Two individuals, Francis Verboom and Rory San Miguel. Honestly, initially it was a lot more of an inception around a hardware company that was trying to suit the needs of companies trying to make drone surveys more accurate. So we've got this great product, AeroPoints. It's a smart ground control target. But as we started to see this roll out through the industry, I think they noticed that there was a massive gap in how people handled the data. You're collecting these fantastic, large, dense data sets, but very few computers could handle the data. And that's really set us onto a different path entirely, which moved still not away from the hardware. The hardware still exists, but moved us more into the software realm of how do we process, manage. And we are at 250 employees now. We've got offices in Sydney, Denver, Amsterdam, and Manila. And we are, growing like crazy.
Very good. No, it's exciting, and especially when you build a product that comes from a direct need.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not somebody that's like, let's build something and see if we can find a problem. Like the problem was actually there. It evolves into some really, really innovative ways on how to do business. And there's no secret that we're living in a world where there's data coming out from everywhere, and we got to process all of it, and everybody wants data at their fingertips.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So how do we process all this stuff to make it accessible? So is that exactly like that's what you're specializing in now, is to not only collect the data and get good quality surveys done, but also making it accessible so that you can make real-time decisions?
100%. Yeah, we'd like to boil it down into map, measure, manage. We've got the mapping end, which is our hardware solution, AeroPoints. So that is the solution to accurate data, is having a ground control situation and a base station situation, and AeroPoints cover that both. So that works with a whole wide array of drones, but that's the map umbrella. The measure side is in our software. So once you've uploaded the data, we have a team that processes the information, makes it into a virtual twin of your site, a very accurate virtual twin. But then in that situation, you can then measure things on the fly. You can share the data. And then, of course, with the manage aspect of it, that's once you've got the data, we talked about how it being big and cumbersome. When it's in our cloud solution, it's no longer big and cumbersome. It's easy to share. You can get someone in on a mobile app, desktop, whatever it is, and it can be anyone from an operator up to an engineer using it, all skill levels. Very
good. I mean, that's the key, right? You got to be able to get everybody on board, and that's usually what ends up happening, right? Is that the decision makers, so you will, as far as making the plays and adjusting the playbook, doesn't necessarily connect with the people that have to execute that playbook fast enough, and that's when we start seeing some gaps. So that's fantastic. So as far as your solution goes, is it mostly like open pit, surface mining, or do you go underground mining as well? And what in particular are you guys monitoring to really facilitate that use case for your clients?
So we operate off of either photogrammetry or LiDAR. So photogrammetry being, your aerial base, lots of individual photos being captured, or LiDAR being a scanner. With that said, our tool set is largely based for surface operations. So we do have underground clients, but they're managing tailings, they're managing inventory on the top. Exactly. Surface mining has always been a good fit. When I talk about our 10-year run of working with customers, surface mines were some of our earliest customers that we had on board. They're the ones, they've got, a lot of safety concerns of sending people into the pits. They've got big open areas that are hard to get to on foot. And their accuracy requirements at the time when drones weren't as accurate were less than, say, construction. So they were a really good fit, and they've always been along the customer list. So largely surface topography, although we are getting customers, pushing the limits all the time. They're starting to upload scans of going down underground and things like that. And, maybe eventually that'll be part of our path here soon.
Let's talk about our Heavy Industry World Tour, brought to you by Savannah Equipment, supplying mining equipment worldwide. We are heading to events across North America and Australia and filming episodes on location. Email us at info@crownsman.com to be part of Crownsman's Heavy Industry World Tour. Did you know cementitious binders can be responsible for up to 70% of the total GHG footprint of mine backfilling processes? Now you can replace up to 50% of the binder in your mine backfill operations with Graybond, Graymond's new low-carbon cementitious binder. This lime-based alternative binder maintains a 40 to 70% lower GHG footprint compared to typical cement and can adapt to varying mine conditions without compromising performance. Learn more about Graybond at graybond.com. Orica Digital Solutions seamlessly connects customers' physical and digital worlds so they can readily understand and optimize operations at every step of the value chain, from exploration to processing. BlastIQ is an innovative platform which transforms how drill and blast data is used to unlock mining value. BlastIQ provides easy access to historical and key performance indicators that drive continuous improvements, enhance productivity, and reduce the overall cost of operations. To learn more about BlastIQ and how it can support your operations, visit orica.com/BlastIQ.
Yeah, so essentially what happens is, every time we build a product or we build a solution, we go down a certain path that, we know for sure there's a problem there, and we steer our productivity there. But as we get feedback from the field, customers give us their feedback, and then we start seeing like what other applications go through. It's, usually end up kind of molding yourself in a very, very niche solution that you excel at and you do better than anybody else. Have you seen that as well with your product offering, that, the initial use case is still there, but then there's a very specific area of the business that you've really captured very well, and that's why people are going to Propeller for your solution?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think when we talk about that kind of solution of map, measure, manage there, the map piece has always been an integral part of our business. I mean, we've been a survey-first solution always. We've got 75 geodetic engineers on staff who manage all the processing pipelines. So when you have accuracy as kind of your core, like, underlying component of all your maps, it allows you to do so much more than just change detection and just look at all these things. So we've had a lot of features that have been driven, off of the fact that the maps can be so accurate. I mean, we've got people who do, they manage slippage along tailings. I mean, if you're able to map the ground slope to 2 centimeters, when you run a cross-section profile off there, you can see if there's subsidence change, if there's anything shifting along there. If you're trying to even tell if the density of your material is changing as moisture content changes, you need it to be that accurate. So there's all these niche applications that stem away from just standard stockpile, standard cut and fill, standard blast analysis. And all of that is driven back to kind of our core underlying principle, which is that we want to be the most accurate solution on the market. So we've had a ton of features driven in a bunch of different directions there. And we're incorporating new types of data into the map all the time. It's not just survey data anymore. Now there's GIS layers being incorporated, CAD layers, all this other great stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, based on what you just said, I mean, outside of the initial use case, you must see a lot of waste reduction or waste recapturing through that process as well, right? That
absolutely.
Like, other than monitoring what's there, it's like what's usable, what is actually slipping on us from a quality standpoint, and which materials we have to move quickest because of the reactivity of those piles. So you must see a lot of those use cases as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like the two kind of core principles I see wrapped into here. We've got your survey, which is that's what the drone's capturing. That's giving you all existing conditions, and that gives you a look back at where things were in terms of production. What a high wall looked like on a certain day to make sure that there's no subsidence happening, no erosion, things like that. And then you've got the layers of CAD coming in, and that's more of like where we're going to, where we're building to. And so you're getting all these different elements wrapped up into it, which is telling the proper story of the map, telling the proper story of what the mine's been doing.
Very good. So based on that story, I mean, one of the things that we talked about before the interview here is DirtMate and where things are going with DirtMate as a whole. Can you elaborate a little bit more about DirtMate and the application that you guys are looking at, entertaining for the use cases for DirtMate?
Yeah, so DirtMate's a product we've been building for the last 2 years. We're running on roughly 20 sites in North America, and we're hoping to expand that pretty rapidly. But it was driven from customer feedback. I mean, customers were starting to fly the drone more and more and more, which we're loving. It increases their use of the product and all those things. But when we look at the future of the product and wanting to keep our customers on the cutting edge, do you want a customer to have to take a drone out of a box every single day? So DirtMate fills the gap. It is the everyday monitoring solution where drones are just on the fly. It's a capture point in time. And really what it is, it's a precision GPS instrument. It's lightweight, it's easy to install, and it tracks the equipment real time. So it's real time monitoring. You put it on your haul trucks, which will then give you a slope of the road that they're climbing. You put it on scrapers if you've got active stripping going on in a site. You put it on your dozers so they can manage a cut or fill. And it's tracking the surface in real time. It's tracking the angle of approach. It's tracking, all your classic telematic data. So, speed it's traveling, all these different things. And it's all built, again, on the basis of that accurate drone flight. So you're now getting real world conception. You've got your drone flight, which you did last week. And now you've got the image of where stuff was. And now you've got your machines running around in real time. So it properly puts the real time in all of this.
Oh, that's really cool. I mean, because then at that point, you got end-to-end material flow completely mapped out.
Yep.
CIM is Canada's leading technical institute dedicated to the sustainability of our industry. Members enjoy professional growth opportunities through CIM libraries, publications, webinars, societies, and the job board. Experience the CIM community firsthand at the Conference of Metallurgists, August 19th to 22nd, iCard, September 16th to 20th, and the CIM Health and Safety Conference, October 6th to 8th. Visit CIM.org for more information and join CIM today. Calling all industry leaders. Is your company driving innovation in mining, energy, construction, transportation, agriculture, and beyond? Join the Crownsman Show, where experts like you share insights, tackle challenges, and explore opportunities shaping our world. Become a featured guest and showcase your expertise to millions worldwide. It's your time to be the voice of heavy industry. Reserve your spot today. Email us at info@crownsman.com or visit crownsman.com.
Very interesting. You're starting to see a lot of uptick. Are there some areas that are taking on to liking DirtMate more than others, or what have been some of your key use cases and the victory cases with DirtMate so far?
So I think what we've had a lot of people do. So yes, I mean the first question, yes, we have seen a rapid uptick of it. I think if anything, the market demands it more than we have bandwidth to support at this time, which is why we're doing a slow approach to the rollout. But just a really quick use case. I had someone I was talking to last week where, had they have flown the drone the morning before and now they're seeing the data at night, they may not have been able to stop the flow of trucks for the next day. But because they had DirtMate leading all day long, they knew what their hourly rate looked like. So they had a cut area, they had a fill area, and they're monitoring that day by day. So by 3 p.m. that day, they can basically predict what it's going to look like at noon the next day. So they were actually able to call off the flow of trucks for import of material. And I mean, at the cost of diesel, the cost of everything else, if you can stop production for even 3 hours, there's a massive cost savings for that. So amplify that over those decisions being made real time, all the time, over the course of months and years. The other one that's come up more recently is when you have contract miners on site. So you've got contractors working for you. Maybe they're billing at a unit rate, or maybe they're billing for 12 hours of the full day every day. But the reality is they're not working for 12 full hours every day. There's breaks being taken, there's guys going to the restroom and stuff, and there's a lot of idle time and wasted productivity. So with this piece of equipment, you could put it on someone's machine in 5 minutes, and then you're able to monitor in real time. Whereas traditional stuff that also fill this space, they take days to install. Mm-hmm. They're 10 times the price or more.
Has anybody asked you to kind of use it as an automated tag in, tag out process? As far as like tracking personnel or tracking equipment that way, so exactly who's in the mine site or the work area and who's not, so that way you can kind of keep track that way and trying to replace the mundane task of tagging into an environment. Have you had that any inquisitions about that?
Not yet. You might be the first, but I like it.
Or planting a seed here.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're very good. So here we talked about one of the things that was identified was a lot of the use cases that you had with Barrick. Can you expand a little bit more about what you've been doing with Barrick with your solutions?
Yeah, so I mean they were someone who had been long time invested in drones. So we weren't revolutionary, I don't think, to them. We were probably just more evolutionary, where they started with a competitive product that was a lot more self-managed data. So it was, single guy, single computer, single job at a time, very much relying with on-site computing. So it puts more real-time data at their fingertips, and that's because we're not limited by on-premise processing, and they've got the tools in Propeller to be able to analyze it more real-time.
Right. I mean, that's the key thing, right? I mean, you can have the greatest solution in the world. But if it's dependent on the availability of the staff or your client, you may be limited in your use case, or maybe limited in its potential. So having that service back mindset kind of thing to say, like, let's enable you rather than, depend on you, if you will, from a client side, it generates a lot more success overall, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
one of the questions that I had for you as well, it's interesting because it seems like a lot of drone technologies they're popping up. I mean, pardon the pun, right? they're
taking off.
And it seems like everybody has their own kind of spin on how they do it. Again, here we go. But another way to facilitate the hardware and put it in action. So for people listening and they're saying, like, listen, I really want to take advantage of drone technology. I really want to start doing things with it. And I understand the different use cases that come away, but how do I make that decision? How do I choose the right provider for us? And more importantly, how do I choose Propeller? Like, what drives me to the point where I've made that decision to go with Propeller?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, if you've got an application for drones, or you feel you do, I mean, I would hope that you would reach out and talk to us. We've got a great consultative approach. We're not going to try to sell you on something you don't need, but if you fit any of the criteria of the companies that we've been talking about, even in this call, there's a good chance Propeller's right for you.
Yeah, you're a solutions provider.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So as far as like your journey with the drone so far, and what you've learned over the years of providing the service, I mean, it's been 10 years. So obviously the company, the services that you're offering today and the structure at which you offer your service today is much different than 10 years ago. So you learn a lot of things along the way. So for people listening, if you say, like, these are the key things that we learned, that if you are looking for a drone provider, pay attention to these key elements to make sure you choose the right one. Would you be able to, maybe 1 to 3 things that you can kind of that stands out at you as a key lesson through the process? Or
again, nothing is by accident in this space. You're asking for an autonomous robot to map your site to 2-3 centimeters from, 100 meters in the sky. It's amazing what the technology can do, but it's very intentional that it does that, and it takes someone who knows what they're doing to get it going. And Propeller is that someone.
I mean, it's interesting. I've always been interested in that because, kind of dabble in the space. I've got a few drones myself and things like that. And I wonder, there's got to be something that differentiates the companies that offer the services and why you want to put it in place. And you've answered that very beautifully. So thank you for that. And as far as like a call to action, so for people out there that are wondering, hey, I think I'm a great fit. What do I do next? How do they get a hold of you? How do they start the process with Propeller?
Yeah, I would say, first off, explore our website. We've got a fantastic website that highlights a lot of the strengths and use cases of our platform. Specifically on the platform side, we've talked a lot about the processing and accuracy, but we've got a fantastic set of web-based tools. So it's propelleraero.com. Even if you just type in Propeller drone surveying in Google, you will find us. There's a contact form directly there. I'm sure in these show notes, you'll be able to drop my contact information. Don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. I'll be able to answer your questions or be an immediate conduit to the person that you need to answer your questions. But just don't be shy. We've got an excellent staff, and we're waiting around to help whenever you reach out.
Very good. So it's been 10 years.
Not for me personally, but
no,
the
but
company,
for Propeller.
Yeah.
So having said that, looking into the future, what do you expect to see out of Propeller, or even out of the market over the next 5 to 10 years coming forward? It seems like it's evolving every 6 months at this point. So what do you anticipate we'll be able to expect in the future from Propeller and more importantly from its services, right?
Yeah, as far as an industry consolidation, it's a tough time to be a consumer. There's a lot of people online making a lot of claims. So I see consolidation of companies, but then also consolidation of data. Propeller, I'd say, has built a best-in-class place for data management, not just your CAD data, but your survey data and your GIS data. So we're going to see a lot more different types of data coming into our software. And then the next theme is going to be automation. We're seeing right now that there's a couple drone providers that are doing drone in a box solutions. So basically you set a dock up on site, the drone takes off, goes, captures data, comes back, lands, uploads to our system through an API. And then with DirtMate's automatically collecting data. It wakes up when the machine turns on, it goes to sleep when it turns off. And so, the company that will win will be the one that puts all these little pieces together the quickest, that can consolidate their data the fastest.
Exactly.
And build their automation and reporting well. And I think we're in a really strong position to be able to handle that.
That's just it. And that's how the market goes, right? You go into that innovation phase, and then a consolidation phase, and then innovation phase and consolidation phase. But that's just it. I mean, you hit the nail on the head as well from a data perspective. Is that like more and more there's an increased appetite for data, and at the same time you kind of get more than what you asked for. So the plates are a little bit too big.
I call it data indigestion.
Indigestion.
Yeah.
So having that key solution to offer your clients, where you can say, hey, we can be the aggregator. We'll visualize it. I mean, that's an exceptional service that you're offering at Propeller. Any closing remarks that you want to leave the audience with, other than what we talked about? We kind of touched on a lot of things.
We've touched on a lot of things. Yeah, I would say don't take my word for it. I mean, check out our website. Check out our case study specifically. We've featured with a lot of great customers who've been happy to talk about our product, our support, their journey with us. Don't hesitate to reach out. We would love to talk to you. We would love to share what we have to offer, and then, evaluate whether it is the right solution for you.
Very good. So you've heard it here. You want your data to come together. You want your data to be accessible, and you want your data to be available for everybody in your workplace while playing with some pretty cool toys in the air. Contact Propeller. It was a great episode. Thank you for coming on board. It was a great interview, and I learned a lot about Propeller as a whole.
Absolutely.
And we wish you all the best, and to another 10 more plus years of success that you've had so far on these 10-year marks that we've had. And until next time, go ahead and reach out to mining.com, mining now, and then you'll be able to see the episode as well as all the details underneath and other details from Propeller through their website. And I hope you all enjoy.